to a duck. But you know, trying to fuel the vagaries of series television, not so often. I do remember once, my hair was very short. I was 8 months pregnant. I'm walking through a casino in Las Vegas with my husband, and like 6, 12, and 13-year-old boys run up to me. Stretch, is it you? I couldn't believe it. I was wearing men's underwear, you know, and a men's shirt, not underwear, you know, the boxer shorts with all the stripes and all the little things and stuff, because it was summer, it was hot. And I was stunned about that. I mean, the toughest thing for me was moving to LA, being told your movie was not a hit, you have to start all over again. And I had to start all over again.
So did you suffer the same fate as the people in Chainsaw 1, where the movie was a success? It was a huge success, but it was considered a resume killer. I never understood that.
Well,
it was like all the people associated with it couldn't get consideration for, you know, better parts, even though everybody in it is pretty damn good, you know. And so I didn't understand how that happened, whereas, you know, 25 years later, Blair Witch comes out, and it
happened again.
It's considered a career builder, at least first 2 years.
Well, you know what, though? The amazing thing is they've already had articles, you know, whatever happened to everyone associated with the Blair Witch Project. You know, the little girl that was the star of that has gone back home.
Yeah.
A couple of the other boys or kids that were in the film went back home. The only difference is I didn't go back home.
So was it to the extent that you actually took the title off of your acting resume?
No. It's always been there. I don't have footage from the film on my demo reel anymore, just because 20 years have passed, and I have to look the way I look now. And I thought it was, frankly, it represented such a high watermark for me because of the hard work that I did. I was working hard every day. I felt like the acting, the quality of the role on the page, in the script, as my fellow players know, the quality of the writing in the script was profoundly different than the product that showed up on the screen. And
well, isn't that partly because there were like many pages that were just thrown out?
They were thrown out, but the problem is it was the subtext of the story, which was that Stretch was actually the daughter of Lefty Enright. That was part of the subtext of the whole film. It was about family, being abandoned by family, losing family, finding family.
Yeah.
And the film doesn't have an emotional core to it when it jumps from splatter and bone to splatter and bone. And I think that's what makes good horror movies today count. There might be a love story in back of it. You know, somebody trying to rescue someone else. Naturally fighting against the forces of evil, like in Devil's Rejects. Of course, evil wins. So in that respect, it was certainly more of a resume killer, because audiences didn't get to see all of the other stuff that could have happened in that movie.
Yeah, I know Kit Carson was not happy with what had been done to the script, and I don't think Tobe Hooper was that happy with what Cannon had done in the editing process.
Well, and the thing is, they tried to leave hints, they tried to leave little clues that the audience would be able to follow, so they would have that understanding of the film, and they were out of context, and it just, ultimately it didn't work. And then Cannon, of course, cut Toby's cut of the film. And that's what wrecked the whole thing. It'd be brilliant if Tobe could recover that footage, a lot of that lost footage, and have a director's cut of the film, so you could see all the stuff that was once in there.
Well, I would think someone would be interested in doing that. That seems like something that would be fairly lucrative for somebody.
You can get it on bootleg.
Oh, you can?
The bootleg version with all those scenes back in, the parking garage, you're a dead,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Wow.
Let me ask Bill Moseley. Did you feel like you got pigeonholed as a genre actor in your subsequent, you know?
Well, in my quest to play Hamlet on Broadway, yes, I think it was definitely it was a fucking detour, but. Actually, I love horror movies, and I remember one time, I don't know, I was grousing about something, and I said, yeah, I don't know, I don't want to get pigeonholed, and I was telling it was my friend James Remar from the Warriors, and I said, yeah, I don't know if I want to get pigeonholed. He looked at me and said, you'd be lucky to be pigeonholed. Which I thought, fuck you, pal. But I love horror movies, so I think it's pigeonhole, bad hold, well, I don't know about cornhole, but I don't mind it. I mean it's but I've been able to do stuff like play a child abusing father in ER, and I played some creep in The Practice and got shot in the head for it. Johnny in Night of the Living Dead, the color version. Possum the Cook on Carnival. Is that pigeonholed? Yeah. If I am pigeonholed as a psycho or as a monster, robot, all that shit, that's great with me. I'm very, very happy.
Because there's always work for psychos.
Yeah, that's right. I'm really happy about it, and I think that's why I was so excited about meeting Rob Zombie and him putting me in House of a Thousand Corpses, and then that leading to Devil's Rejects. I just been having a ball, because I don't know. That's what I do. It's who I am. It's what I do.
And what about? What? Are you going to do questions? Yeah, just a minute. And what about you, Bill Johnson? When you followed the your subsequent career, was it
Yes.
was it influenced greatly by this?
No, I stayed in Austin.
Yeah.
I stayed in Austin, and I decided to just sort of stay at home. Yeah, I did bartend for a while, and I got married. And then, yes, public service is my life. So I was staying in Austin. I got married, and my wife had a really great job at the University of Texas, and going out to L.A. and New York was no longer an option. So I was facilitating acting classes at the local theater there, and doing voice work as it would come through town, and riding the circuit through Texas, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, till you wear a car out, and then you just give that up.
DOA too.
Right, and films come to Texas like DOA and Full Moon and Blue Water, the Oliver Stone film. I'm spacing out the name right now.
JFK.
Born on the 4th of July.
Born on the 4th of July. JFK?
No, it was one with Eric Bogosian.
Talk radio.
Yeah, thank you.
Radio.
Talk radio. Talk radio. Yeah. So small parts like that. So I was in doing mostly live theater. So I was doing a lot of that. So thank you.
It's okay to applaud for live theater. That's all right. You can identify yourself. All right. Does anybody have any questions for the panel? Yes, right here on the front.
Yeah, Mr. Mosley. I got to watch the documentary.
Yeah.
And you seem hypersensitive towards the gore and violence. I'm just curious. Chainsaw 2 is much below your film being.
Well, I've matured.
Can everyone hear the question?
What is the question?
Repeat the question, Bill.
Am I?
How did you get through the zombie films? You seem a little sensitive to the violence.
Well, I love violence and gore and splatter and all that stuff. So I wasn't really sensitive to that. It was putting the pistol into Priscilla Barnes' nether regions that was a little, it made me a little squeamish.
Put a chainsaw in her nether region.
Well, I know. So.
It never touched my nethers.
So that was, that scene in particular was, the rest of it, I enjoyed, beating people's heads into jelly with a stick and everything like that, and stabbing them in the leg and shooting them in the neck, and,
But he says you were sensitive. I guess.
Well, I wasn't really to that. I mean, no, that was that scene with Priscilla was pretty heavy. I mean, because that, in that movie you had to make it look casual because Otis was a little bored. But yeah.
It was cold, it was hard, it was long, and it had teeth.
You were ready for that question. That's a good answer. That's the best answer.
We know what we like.
Anybody else?
That's it. Oh, well, thanks for coming.
Oh, way over here.
Knowles.
What's your favorite classic rock song, Stretch?
My favorite classic rock song, oh God. Oh, you're gonna hate this. What I Like About You by the Romantics. Sorry. I used to pogo and jump up and down, and smoke pot to that song. What I like about you.
Let me ask a question to the audience. How many like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3? What was that, about 10% of the audience? About 10%? I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is like as much as anybody can be embarrassed to be in any movie. I think if you were in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, that's grounds for embarrassment. No? You're defending Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3? I think this is much better. Then what about the Fry House?
I want to know the story about the Fry House.
Okay, LG has a story about the Fry House.
Fry House, darling. Come on, Lou. What's
Tell the Fry House story.
I remember a fry house, but I didn't build the damn thing.
that Fry House? I thought that was your idea or something.
Damn, no, I don't think it was. No, they pretty much built that thing for me.
Well, he said, "Hi, darling, I built you a little fry house."
Yeah, they built it where I could add a couple of French fries, and I was munching the house, a little bit. I was chawing down on a French fry. They were good fries. There wasn't anything else to do sitting around. So, but.
And that scene has Eagle Cannell in it. He's one of the guys in the chili cook-off, when they announced the champion.
Jesus, was he? Well, Eagle's the guy that directed the Last Night at the Alamo film, which is not about the Alamo. It's about a bar that looked like the Alamo, actually, that met the fate of the Alamo. We were all destroyed. It got torn down. But Eagle now, our dead drunk friend, or drunk dead friend Eagle, he's no longer with us. But he was a good filmmaker in a raw kind of a way. And I'm sorry we didn't get to finish the work that we were doing together, because we were talking about people that we knew. We weren't doing particularly horror movies, but he enjoyed horror movies too.
There's another girl.
Right there.
Thank you.
Our future governor, Kinky Friedman, is in the credits. Where is he in the film, or did that get cut?
Kinky Friedman is in the credits. What did he do in the film?
Well, I used to listen to Get Your Biscuits in the Oven and Your Buns into Bed, but
I don't
Nobody
remember
knows.
Kinky.
Nobody remembers seeing Kinky on the set.
I don't.
It's a mystery. Put it on the net and we'll know in 48 hours.
I do vote for Kinky.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I got to ask, Dennis Hopper I was a big fan of Dennis's, and I had heard a story, and I got to hang with Dennis a little bit, and I'd heard the story that James Dean died before they could dub the big giant scene in Giant, where he makes the drunken speech in the hotel down the Shamrock. And I'd heard that Dennis mimicked Dean's voice and dubbed it for him. And so I told him this story, and I said, "So this is what I've heard." And Dennis said, "That's pretty good, but not quite right." He said, "It wasn't me, it was Nick Adams." Remember Johnny Reb?
They were all friends. They all
He was in Rebel Without a Cause. Yeah, he was one of the hoodlums. And he evidently dubbed Dean's voice.
War of the Gargantuans.
Really? Too good. movie trivia of the first order. Yeah, Dennis was a great guy. You know, he was a great guy.
All right, you guys have any more questions for these guys? Yeah, here's one. Tell us about your...
Here's the mic, Bill.
There's also somebody with a question now.
Yeah, I made him myself. He's for sale, $100. All you got to do is sell one. He's got a little wine mark on his face. Got a little plate up here.
It's Johnny McCarthy.
It's a weird little yeah.
He's
And,
so well dressed, Bill. He looks like
yeah.
he's going on.
And his mouth doesn't open because I taped it with duct tape because if it opens, his jaw will fall out.
There's a question right there.
Yeah.
Hi.
He's drunk.
Favorite movie that you did the effects on?
Oh, we're here for Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, but I mean that was fun. That was fun. Is he jacking me off back here? Hello. That was fun. I'll tell you what. Let him do the talking. You just let him do the talking. Brokeback Mountain. John Wayne is rolling in his grave. Just a side comment. No, Dave.
Oh, no.
Else have something to sell up here? It's working. You can sell stuff up here. Now, well, who can top that?
Just make sure that dummy has a good home.
I think it does, yeah. Yeah. Well, to answer your question, Day of the Dead, okay? Thanks.
Okay, we're running out of time, but like we can maybe do one more. Way over here.
There was a internet teaser for a while where we were going to have a sequel in which Charlie would find out what happened to Chop Chop. Is there any hope of ever seeing that?
About a sequel?
You mean the All-American Massacre? Yeah. That was done by William Hooper, Toby's son, and I don't know if we'll ever see it. I wish we would, because yeah, Chop Top's in it. It's 10 years later. Chop Top's, it's so cool because part of the makeup is my plate's a lot more exposed because 10 years of, picking and licking. It's really actually very awesome. I was really had a great time doing it, and so I guess you just gotta keep keep the faith, and maybe someday it'll come out. But
Are you surviving the big drop into the thing?
oh man, money's thicker than blood.
That is what happened to you.
Yeah, but I'm actually called in that I'm called Bloody Bobby, so I'm not specifically Chop Top, although hey, I am Chop Top. But anyway, but it's somewhere in some can somewhere, something in some state of disrepair maybe, but it's really cool. I really had a good time doing it, so we'll see.
Okay, guys, let's have a hand for the panel showing up.